Good afternoon and welcome to the Embedded Executive Podcast. My name is Rich Nast. I am with Embedded Computing Design. We have a special guest this week, the CEO of Altera, Rahib Hussain. How you doing, Rahib?
I'm doing great, Rich. It's my pleasure to be with you today.
Awesome. Well, I know how busy you are, and I do appreciate you carving out a few minutes for me. So let's get right down to it. Um, I let's see. How do I phrase this the right way? Um, Altera's been in and out and in and out. In embedded, out of embedded. They've been with Intel and out of Intel. I was on record years ago when Altera was first part of Intel as saying this could be the best thing. If they do this right, this is going to be fantastic and they'll dominate the world. And it didn't happen. And it was very disappointing that it didn't happen. So I know a bunch of things have happened along the way with private equity and all that, but I don't care about that. Our readers are technical people who are your customers, your potential customers. They want to know what you're going to do for them today. So let's get to why is now the right time for Altera? Why should somebody who's either a customer or a potential customer hop onto that train?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So I'll start with this fact that once again, Altera is operating as a pure play FPGA solution provider with a single focus, and that is to bring programmable logic innovation to solve customer problem, right? Now, the lots of good things happen, and of course during Intel thing. So one of the greatest thing from the customer point of view, Intel helped keeping the leadership of the fabric. Fabric is the key for FPGA, and we still have the best fabric, the in terms of Fmax frequency as well as utilization that you can achieve in the overall logic. So that's the best part. Now, of course, there was some certain market segment prioritization under Intel. So, for example, wireless and data center, and today we have a very strong position in those markets. But then with the independence, we actually have a full freedom to bring the full portfolio across the broader market, because this is all FPGA is about, for a broader portfolio end to end. That's what we are committed to. So I think that's a good news for our customer and all the FPGA users out there.
So what are the application spaces that you really want to go after that you'll say Altera will dominate in these spaces?
So as I said, we want to be the leader in FPGA-based solution provider, right? So we already have a very strong position in data center and wireless, but we want to go in across all the industry, the embedded, the test equipment, test and measure, to industrial and aerospace and all those application and security and so on. But what is unique right now is, which I think is going to drive the overall TAM of the FPGA, is the relevance of FPGA in the physical AI, right? So this is where the AI overall, data center AI as well as physical AI, FPGAs are playing a critical role to be I would say, the companion to the inference and the overall GPU, and that is where I think that a lot of growth is coming. So yes, we would like to be the leader in the broader FPGA application, but with a special focus on the AI.
Why is Rahib Hussain the guy to lead Altera?
Well, so that's a very good question. I have been in semiconductor for about 30 years, and I was co-founder of Cavium, and then from there Marvell acquired Cavium, and I was president of Marvell and help being part of the leading the transformation of Marvell. In my opinion, what is needed for Altera, when it's coming out of Intel, is to bring the focus back. And when I talk about focus, it's really the customer first mindset. It's a mindset that our purpose of existence is to solve customer problem, and anything and everything we do is for that purpose. So we drive innovation, we drive excellence execution, we drive quality, we drive fast decision making, but that is all working closely with the customer to solve their problem, right? And that's how I have built all my businesses throughout my life, and that's the culture I am bringing here in Altera. And I think that is a key to achieve the success together with a customer.
You've said a few times that the goal is to solve the customer's problems. And obviously that's what's important here. It could be taken as a throwaway line. How do you know what the customer's problems are?
So that is a very, very interesting question, because as I said, the best way is to go work closely with the customer, try to understand what is their goal, what are their challenges, and what problem they are trying to solve. And that is more of a style and mindset of the company, which sometimes people call it engineer first mindset, versus, hey, I have built this product which I believe is great and is a great portfolio, and thou shall use it. That's not my style. My style is this: hey, we are focused to solve your problem. We are agile. Uh, Nothing is written in stone. Of course, we have our roadmap and we are driving those things. But when it comes to the details of those, how, what, and how, this is where the close partnership with customer helps. This is where you go with your larger set of customers and try to spend time, try to not just listen to them, but really understand their problem, their challenges, and their goals. Because if you understand that, then you can help them win. And if they win, ultimately you win. So right, so that's a mindset and culture, and that's more of a engineering first, driving creativity and innovation first mindset. And that's what I think is the culture that we are driving here.
To that end, how involved do you get with your customer's customer?
So based on the markets, many times we do get involved with because you have to have full awareness of the ecosystem. You can't just say, hey, this is a part I'm selling to this particular box, and that's all it matters. You need to understand what is the end goal, where the end market is going, how things are evolving, and what needs is it driving to our customers' equipment, which actually in the end will drive for us. So those are the things you have to understand. So, for example, I'll give you a simple example. Let's say the right now memory market is in kind of trouble, sort of a thing. It's hard to find memory, then especially DDR4 is kind of end of lifing, right? So having if you were working with your customer closely, and this thing, you can figure it out, which Altera did actually, that hey, DDR5 is important. So we did implement DDR5 in our product portfolio, for example, which is being very helpful for our customer right now. So that is just one example. There can be many such examples, especially in this time when we are going through its transition, where everything needs to improve the performance efficiency, driven by use of AI. So this is where a lot of use cases are evolving, and having the understanding of end use cases is what helps you to bring the best solution for your customer.
So are you required to be more agile than you would have expected because of this memory issue, for example? But there's other reasons. Like another one is that AI is far more important. I don't know if important is the right word, but involved in everything that we do every day than most of us would have expected. So is the agility that's required, is it more difficult than you thought it would be?
Not really, because as I told you, that's how my style has been throughout. So in my mind, yes, we do. In any company, I worked with, hey, this is my 3-year, 5-year roadmap, right? However, you can't. That is not written in stone, right? Because the thing is, you have to keep steering as the market is changing, and in right now in this time market is changing very fast, right? So if you do not align yourself with the needs of your customer and end market and end application, you will become irrelevant, right? So that is where you have to, while you are executing this year, roadmap, because you have to do it because you can't just keep changing your immediate thing. But how do you steer, and how do you keep doing course correction is also equally applicable. In my opinion, however, FPGA are the best fit for that, because by definition FPGAs are very agile and very flexible, right? So many of the things in FPGA you can actually adapt much more easier compared to, let's say, custom silicon. I mean, I'm coming from that background. There, you when you say, hey, this is what I'm building, there is hard to make big changes. But in FPGA, a lot of aspect of the design can keep evolving even after deployment. As long as you have the right building block and right hooks.
Excellent. So you've been in this position for about a year now. What's the thing you're most proud of that's happened over the course of the last 12 months?
So I would say, first of all, I'm really proud of the mindset change that I have brought here. So I have brought this winning mindset and yes we can attitude, right? So I think that to me is important. You should always start the conversation, yes we can, and then figure out what are the natural and physical and other resource related limitation. And that kind of forces you to think out of the box also a little bit. It's not like, okay, this is my group, but this is I'm talking about at a function level. This is how I am, how many resources I have, and this is all we can do, right? It kind of opens up your mind and say, hey, what is the possibility? What is the excellence, level of excellence in the world? And are we there or not? And if we are not there, why are we not there? What can we do to get there? So that kind of, I would say, the mindset culture is very important. The second thing is more like a sports team culture where we all work together, but we all kind of push each other to achieve the next level of excellence, right? I can see that that is happening a lot. I'm really proud of my leadership team that I have built. Uh, we are all with the same mindset, and with the same style, that achieving the end goal, which is actually making our customers successful, right? So that's how we live by. So when you have that mindset and you have that passion to achieve that customer success, it's a completely different style, completely different kind of type of a company. Second is thing, of course, that immediately brings, to achieve that we have to improve our overall execution excellence, the quality of the product, and actually improving the overall portfolio. So I'm really pleased with in how much have we improve in all those things in how little of a time, right? And everybody is stepping up and carrying not only their own weight but also helping others get to the next level. So I would say it's a completely different company. It's I call many time in customer meeting, I say, hey, think of us as a startup but with a very large base, right?
Very good.
Because the hunger, the passion and the drive and the focus that we have, and the agility, which is like a startup, but at the same time, we are an established company and with a large business.
Excellent. Okay, so last one for you. Um, if we're having this conversation 2 years from now, what is it that we're talking about? What's dominating your life, your engineers' lives? What are the problems that you need to solve for your customers?
So this is very interesting question because I keep thinking about it. At the pace the world is changing, in fact, anything you predict in the even next 6 months is probably gonna be different. It's probably gonna be changed. All the things that we have experienced in the last 1 year. I mean, if you go back and say, would you have had thought about it? Like, it's really difficult. So in these circumstances, what matter is you keep very close alignment with the customer, keep that engagement and keep monitoring the end goals, right? So that's what we'll keep in. But one thing I can, based on our plan, what I can predict is, one thing is in 2 years, we will have a very strong, complete portfolio. We will have our trust rebuilt to the very high level that I am trying to drive internally. The customer trust on us that we do deliver what we say we will deliver. We deliver on time. We deliver with the quality. So all those things I am driving to achieve in that time frame. And that's the third thing is this: we will be a very strong player when it comes to AI, both on the infrastructure side, solving as a companionship to the other processors, or in the physical AI side as well, where we are really solving the problems of the physical interface of the world with the AI, where I believe the FPGA is most relevant solution.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Rahib. This is great.
Yep. Thank you for your time, and I really enjoyed our conversation, and I look forward to having more of these.
Thank you very much. That was Rahib Hussain. He is the CEO of Altera, and I am Rich Nass with Embedded Computing Design.
Thank you.